Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Solo Q. I'm your host, Michael Damiani. This week, I'm joined by Michael Huber, first-time guest on the show as well. How's it going, Huber?
It's going well.
Nice.
How's everybody doing? Hope you're good.
Hope everyone's doing well. And returning special guest, Tiffany Lockheart. How's it going, Tiffany?
I ate so much food earlier. I'm dying.
Okay, I know this feeling. So we were talking about what I had for lunch before because it's my cheat day, and I gave them this whole anecdote about it. But I have a bad habit on my cheat day lunch to eat too much, so that the rest of the day I just feel like miserably stuffed and full, and I don't eat dinner. I only usually eat lunch and dinner every day. So it's my cheat day and I'm like looking forward to it all week, Oh, good lunch. And it's like, yo, I ate so much food for lunch and it's dinner time. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like I'll go get a drink and like, that's it. It's like, I cannot eat any more food.
Is coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've been trying to like eat less, but I didn't eat a lot for lunch. It was like 5 chicken tenders and fries and a drink. But like the chicken was, I told them it was Slim Chickens. I'm sorry if you're a Slim Chickens fan, but as the kids say, it's mid.
Slim Pickens, it's Slim Chickens.
Oh,
Slim Chickens. Yep.
I never had it before, so I can't.
I don't know where it's at. Like I only saw one here for the first time, and I don't know where they exist. There's so many chicken places around here. It's insane. But
you're making me hungry again.
As Huber knows, Raising Cane's. You finally got one in New York, right?
We do.
Yeah, well, I have no idea where it is though.
Chad, do you ever have like over/under bets for how many times Damiani will mention food on his streams?
So Tiffany, we have a recurring thing on our normal podcast where like our Isla and Blood get annoyed whenever food comes up because they know it's a trap where I'm going to start talking about food and take over the podcast like I do right now.
It's nothing wrong about it. Food is good. I don't know, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Food is good. It is good stuff. My dad always says like, you just talk about food. Why don't you like open restaurants or do like culinary stuff?
That could be a good idea. Do you ever consider that?
Yeah.
I mean, no, because I know the nightmare of running a restaurant and like
making like a small cafe,
razor thin margins and like, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I really love video games more than food, so I feel like I did pick the right thing. We'll have to see. I mean, maybe one day we'll have to see. I don't even have an idea for a restaurant. Like I don't even know what I do. So
hard to open a restaurant.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's so brutal. Hard. Yeah.
Damiani, before we get started, now you're talking about food, dude. Just so you know, I'm always talking about how expensive fast food is, right? Especially like Carl's Jr.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You might as well go to a restaurant because if you go to Carl's, it's like no joke, $18, $20.
Wait, for what?
For just a combo. Like you get like a Western bacon cheeseburger combo. It is no joke, like $18.
Yeah, Popeyes is the same, and
on
Popeyes.
Monday, Damiani, the California minimum wage is going
I heard.
up, and they said all fast food places in California are about to raise their prices significantly.
We don't,
dude. Carl's Jr. is going to be like $22.
This is an unfortunate narrative. I hate this shit because like these restaurants absolutely could afford to pay their workers better, and then they don't want to, so they pass on to customers because customers then complain, and then they use that as like ammunition to say change the rule or law back, or change the narrative against whoever they don't like that put the rule into place. So this is the merry-go-round of this type of stuff. But that sucks.
I feel like fast food is going to be extinct in like 5 or 10 years because there's seriously no point. You might as well, you might as well cook at home, or if you're gonna eat out, you go to somewhere a little nicer. There's no point to fast food.
People troll about Five Guys and their price, but it's like all these fast food places are approaching Five Guys price anyway. It's
it's pricey. Bro.
I was like, it's pricey. I saw the meme of
will be healthier in 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect.
Yeah, that is true. You said something about Popeyes before, like real quick, Tiffany. If you use the mobile app. They have like weekly deals there, and they have a deal. I don't know what you like to get there, but because of my diet, I can't eat fried food until Saturday, but they have blackened chicken tenders or grilled with seasoning on them.
I didn't even know they had an app.
Okay, anyway, the point is if you do the app, you can get a larger combo than what they even offer in store for like $5 cheaper. than what they charge you in store. It's like it's $11.99. It's freaking fantastic. Only thing is you got to deal with Popeyes getting your order wrong like almost every time, which is like
yes,
very true.
That happens to me constantly.
Tiffany, what's your cat's name?
Oh, her name is Rebellion, named after Dante's sword.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I had a male cat just like that. Looks identical to that. Yeah, his name was Smokey. When I was growing up. Yeah, Smokey was awesome. So love that cat.
Kitty, look at it.
Yeah, she's a pain in my ass, but rebellion. She's really clingy. She's super clingy.
Aww.
She likes belly rubs and attention.
Nice.
Well, you shouldn't have to use apps to get decent prices at fast food, but we're all right. But we're really here to talk about Resident Evil. Not a big food franchise, unfortunately.
I don't know, zombies. People are like different flavors.
That's true. People are usually the item on the menu for this, and then you got some herb mixing for that type of stuff. Has there ever actually been like that's always been like Metal Gear's thing. I don't remember Resident Evil ever doing like a food item, right? They never did something like that I can remember.
Just the herbs and the sprays.
You look at
was there something in Outbreak? No.
You look at disgusting food a lot, right? Like RE4 or RE7. The table.
Yeah,
disgusting, right?
Sure.
But we're here because I thought it'd be cool to get these two together and talk about what we want to see in the future from Resident Evil, what we want to see in Resident Evil 9. And what we'd like the next remake to be, because they're happening, they're on the way. Definitely. And we did get a little bit of a rumor about Resident Evil 9 that it might be open world, which I never, in an RE engine no less. So it's like, the open world RE, I never even thought about that. So there's a lot to cover. So I want to start with Resident Evil 9 and do you want to start with do you want to talk about like the nature of open world, or would you rather start with, I think I'd rather start with what you two are kind of like hoping to get out of Resident Evil 9, like the characters in it. Who do you hope it's going to star and be in it? And what direction you want to go in it. If it is open world, sure, cool.
Do you want to go first, or
you go first? You go
me?
First.
Okay, so I'm a little conflicted, because we love our characters. I love Leon so much. I love the old school characters in general, but I do want more fresh faces to take over. Like, past the mantle already, because Leon's hitting like 54, he's doing backflips. I don't know, man. It'll be nice to see them like teach them awareness, how to like fight bioweapons. I don't know what the next like outbreak would be. That's the hard thing about it. I'm not sure where would it start. It's gonna be just another breakout virus from a lab. Is it just gonna be something with it's not gonna be anything from 7 and 8 anymore. No spoilers. I can talk about spoilers. Right?
Yeah.
It's gone. It's exploded. It's done. We're not doing Evelyn or any of that anymore. Maybe they'll bring in this girl again, but it's all over the place. It's kind of hard to pinpoint where it's going to land, but I do like third person a lot. So I am biased to the third person for Resident Evil 9. First person was cool, but it wasn't for me. I'm sorry.
Totally.
Yeah.
For 9, I really want Rose. I want like Devil May Cry style freaking Rose powers, like going nuts, like freaking 11 in Stranger Things vibes, just getting crazy. And I also want to see where our characters from the past are in the present. Like, we haven't seen Jill, we haven't seen Leon in the 7 and 8 timeline. So I would love that. And even though I prefer fixed cameras and over-the-shoulder Resident Evil games, I feel like 9 should close out the first-person saga.
Oh, like 3.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just think it would be so fitting.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really like. I love my favorite parts of like 7 and 8 story are just like the way bioweapons have evolved into espionage, with like Evelyn and stuff, and like mind control vibes and psychic powers. Like, I feel like you can really go into that element and that type of horror in Resident Evil 9 versus like, big world-ending nuclear weapons and zombies everywhere.
Go again.
Yeah.
I get it. I just, maybe for myself, I think when it came to Resident Evil 7 and 8, both games have a whole thing of like the game starts off really scary and terrifying, but in the second half, it's action oriented.
Guns blazing.
Exactly. So it's when it came to first person, it kind of gave me a headache a little bit, but that's just me. I'm just like,
I'm with you.
But I love this slow build from 7 and 8 a lot, and I hope they kind of keep that pacing. But at the same time, I do want Rose to kick ass and like move around crazy, so I'm a little conflicted again.
Yeah.
I am curious if you think they'll do an option to let you be first or third person, because we did get the Village third person patch update. Maybe Capcom will just give it to us at the beginning. I mean, I didn't play through the entire thing in third person of Village, but I don't see how it would be radically changed other than Huber, you're probably best to speak to like first person immersion, like that, the visceral experience. Like I honestly acknowledge that it's there when you're playing first person, but I still think the game doesn't suffer anything significant, like doesn't significantly lose anything by being in third person. Or do you disagree with that, Huber? Do you think maybe like it's a vision thing where they need to stick to one or the other?
No, I could see a hybrid like that for sure. Again, I mean, if it was my reality, if I was writing the checks, it'd be back to fixed cameras, 100%.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, in first person, I do love the quiet moments. I think quiet moments are incredible in first person. When you come into a room and you're looking around and there's like a corpse in the corner. So that's the part of first person I like, is like a little slower, a little more horror focused.
I do have a question for you. Did you play in VR by any chance?
I reviewed 7 in VR.
Okay.
And it was awesome. It made me a little ill here and there. VR definitely hurts my stomach and my eyes a little bit. But I did get through 7 in VR, and it was really awesome. To me, VR is like a one-time playthrough type thing, whether you do it first or second or whatever. It's like a one-time thing, and then I'm good on it. It's cool to experience, but it does make me ill.
I do think VR definitely enhanced RE7 as a whole. Not too much on 8 for me, but maybe it's because the first playthrough it's kind of the same every single other playthrough. I think that's my criticism for 7 and 8 that I hope 9 fixes. Like every other game, there's a lot of replayability. 7 and 8 didn't really have that for me. Sure. Like it was a good, like first playthrough was like, yeah, this is fun, this is good. Then it's just, everything's kind of the same. Puzzles are the same. It's not RNG. The enemy placements are the same. So I just got a little.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I liked leveling up the guns a lot in Village. That was some good replay stuff, but 7 definitely has like the worst replayability. I love that game so much, but it definitely, I can see that less replayability for sure. It'd be insane if because like I feel like one of the biggest disappointments in Remake 2 was the A and the B scenarios.
That's the zapping system is not there. I know. I love Resident
Evil 2. Not there. Yeah. So imagine if 9 leaned into that and you had just like dramatically different paths you could take, or different scenarios or different characters or whatever. Like, but definitely I would love if 9 really leaned into, you're not going to see everything on your first playthrough. You're going to have to do like 3 playthroughs to even see everything. And that'd be awesome.
That's kind of what I want to, because like I said, when I played 7 and 8, I was just got more disappointed that nothing really changed. There was no like secrets, but I play Resident Evil 2 1988 all the time, and I love the zapping system. I'm like, oh man, I did this playthrough, now I can't access this area, which is like the fingerprint stuff, or like a Resident Evil 3, a lot of RNG with getting the whatever you get, the grenade launcher or Magnum, and there's like, oh, it's not 0131, it's another code this time. Oh shit. And you gotta go back and you gotta pass Nemesis. I'm like, oh, trying to pick up the card. I love that feeling. I love being engaged still from new playthroughs. And I know people are not the biggest fans of like, 5 and 6, but I think 5 and 6 is still a lot of fun and has a lot of replayability with friends. I think it's a good time with friends.
5 is one of my favorite games. I love, like, it's my favorite co-op game for sure.
Yeah,
I love 5. Bring Sheva back.
I agree. Yes,
bring her back.
I know people don't like 6 that much, which I can understand. But
I'm not huge on 6. I tell everyone I give it like I feel like 6 is a solid 4, but then I went back and I replayed it before Village for like I've played them all like 10 times at least. Played 2 like 100 times. 6 though, it went from a 4 to a 5.5 for me.
Can I want to know your opinion on this. Hold on. Because I will say right now, I think Leon and Ada's campaigns are the weakest. The more I play it. I don't think you're supposed to like.
Ada's is terrible.
Ada's is the worst.
It's trash.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
That brought it down for me a lot.
Yep. I like Leon's because of Helena Harper. I really like Helena as a character.
I like her Hydra. I thought that was cool. But I think for what they were going for, like you're like suplexing zombies and like just rushing them, I was like, it kind of doesn't fit. It fit more for Chris and Jake's campaign more.
Yeah.
So
like, how do you even bring back these characters in a third-person game like after 6? Like if Leon, I guess you were talking about Leon's age, like he's just older. He could like grab his back when he goes to suplex someone Snake style.
He was already like grabbing his back when he had to like pick up Ashley with the armor. It's over for him. But I don't know how they're gonna bring them back, but I like the replayability is still there. That was my point. So when it came to 7 and 8, it was like a one time I enjoyed it, but then replaying, I was just like, all right, okay.
I'll say like for the replayability thing, they might have not nailed it in 7 and 8, but they're definitely nailing it in the remakes 2, 3, and 4, especially. So
and 3 gets so much hate, and it is so replayable. It is one of my favorite games to replay. Oh my god.
I will admit, I like 3 remake, but there's some things I just wasn't a fan of.
Sure. When you're comparing it to the old ones, you can tear it apart.
Also, Inferno mode pissed me off. Just gonna
love it.
Like without any coins or whatever.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like this was not tested. This was not.
Yeah. I feel like you're supposed to, like it has that like roguelite vibe of like beat the other difficulties and unlock everything to then because if you do Infernal straight,
I tried.
I did it. That is insane.
It's the worst. Like the final fight with Nemesis, bro. I was screaming because there's no iframes. You're done.
Even I was using the like zapper gun thing on that final fight in Infernal mode, and it took me like hours.
It's so bad.
It's insane.
I have a little hate for that game only because of that. But I did enjoy like how Jill was. I love Carlos's revamp. I'm just gonna say it now. I think he was cool.
The best.
The only problem I do have though was Nemesis. Though I'm gonna be honest. Sure. I think they took away his scary factor a little bit more. Maybe it's because I like the original RE3. It was kind of like, what the hell is chasing us? And then you see his first appearance is like he's killing your friend. It was like, oh, this guy. And then he's like busting out the doors and chasing you in the RPD. The game starts with him just breaking in. You're just like, I
love that scene though, that home invasion.
It's cool, but I would just wait there. He wouldn't kill me. So I'm like, there's no sense of like threat. Cause like he was just banging on the door. He was just bang. I could wait there for 10 minutes. There was nothing.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. I was like, huh.
The biggest disappointment for 3, which ties into 9, is Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Remake 3's Raccoon City was just they teased it ahead of time that it was going to be so open. I remember they released like the map of Raccoon City before the game came out, and I was just so hyped to explore the city because you even do it in the original. There's so many optional.
There's a lot of spots.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my god, like I cannot wait to just explore Raccoon City, and then it was just so small, so short.
It was kind of the demo.
It really was. After the demo, I was like, oh my god, there's gonna be so much more, and there was just nothing. So 9, if it is gonna be open world, it needs to make good on that and just have a really like I don't even know what they could do because obviously we can't go back to Raccoon City.
Raccoon City is kind of always the.
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, where do you want the setting to be in 9? Yeah, where would you like it to be set? Like, I mean, not like, it doesn't have to be a specific location, but like type of environment. Do you want a city environment? Do you want another mansion? Do you want a boat? What do you think? Or something we haven't done yet? Well, what are you thinking?
London, dude, like a European city.
Oh my God, like 28 weeks later?
Sure, yes.
Yo, and they're chasing you down. That would have been crazy. I love 28 weeks later, 28 days later.
Same.
One of my favorite movie franchises.
Absolutely.
Terrifying.
Yeah, like the foggy streets of London, dude, at night. Let's go.
That would be poof.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna go open environment, open world, like the city probably makes the most sense because a giant like open world like forest or something would be, I don't know, like
you gotta have the combo though. The forest on the outskirts.
So yeah, like there'll be environments like that. I think there'll be like a docks, a shipyard where there'll be like a boat you go on. There'll be like a police station probably, like they'll have a throwback, a school. They'll have all the usual places you're gonna like kind of expect. All the greatest hits of Resident Evil coming in there, and then probably a few surprises.
Big Ben is the clock tower, like it's perfect. It's perfect.
That's actually a good reference.
That's
one
good.
thing I do want, which I wish Resident Evil 3 did, I wish you could save civilians. I wish Jill was able to save people, but no.
Yes. Oh my God.
It made me sad.
Dude, Tiffany, I thought we were gonna like rescue people in the city and get them on the subway.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they alluded, like in the trailer, you see people like going in, and Jill is just like, "Oh, come here," something like that. And if we do an open world for RE9, I think it'll be sick to like save other people and like maybe get something from it. I thought they were gonna take from like the Resident Evil 3 Mercenaries, like the original, because you're allowed to save civilians. So I thought they're gonna put that in the remake, but they didn't, and I was just like,
yeah,
please put that in. That would be great.
Make a lot of sense because they would need some open world activities, like the things like the Ubisoft stuff. So that'd be like, could be one of them. I mean, there are other activities you think they could put in there, or any ideas for what they could throw in there?
Shit, find like new weapons. You know, you gotta like go to this area to find a code, and then back to another area. Like, yeah, for sure.
A lot of backtracking.
Maybe some like Plant 42 type enemy, like not Plant 42 specifically, but an enemy like that could be optional. Like, oh, there's this huge monster in this building. Like if you can clear it out. It's optional. Like
that'd be cool.
I was gonna ask something else, a question, but I saw something in chat. I saw multiple people ask about this. Do you want 9 to have some kind of like multiplayer, like Outbreak style multiplayer?
I want Outbreak to be its own thing, dude.
Oh, it's like a mode in there?
No, I want a Resident Evil.
Oh, you want a brand new Outbreak.
I'm talking about like story-wise. Like, it would be cool, optional to have like someone to join you on the adventure. I thought that'd be kind of nice, but the story could be catered to like solo first person, not first person, but like solo playthrough.
So you want co-op? You want co-op in 9?
It would be kind of nice. It would be optional co-op.
Okay.
It would be nice. I think that'd be cool.
Every time they say co-op is optional, in my head, I'm like, it's not though. If it's here, it's designed for.
Let me rephrase. Because every single like main game, there's always 2 characters play as, except for like Resident Evil 4. That's it's just Leon. Like I want 2 different characters, different point of views, where we could bring the zapping system again. And maybe there's a point where you could just be in the middle and work with the other person. It'll be cool. Something like that.
That is cool.
That's how I saw it. Like RE6 kind of dabbled with it. You know how there was like
the sync up spots.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I would like that to happen maybe.
So sync spots. That would be cool.
I think they had a good idea, but it was not executed too well.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I'm struck. Like, what other if it was open world, like what existing open world games already do like co-op or like a multiplayer component that aren't
Redfall.
That's actually open world, or is it just large environments? I forgot. I skipped that one.
It's huge, man. It's open world. I mean, I'd say it's open world.
Okay,
open world game.
But like co-op would be like doable. But like something with like 4-player, like real like Outbreak style would be a little bit much, right? It'd have to be its own thing.
I still want an Outbreak remake, but
please.
Well, we'll get to remakes in a second. That if you want to make that your pick. The thing I was going to ask you. Oh, good. Oh. The thing I did want to ask you about, because it is present in several games, and I know it's been a polarizing thing. Should there be the return of any kind of like a stalker enemy? Do you want that gone, or could it be for a
if
portion
it's open world,
of
it could be optional. That optional monster I was talking about, you make it some like stalker freak, and like if you disrupt him or her, or whatever the heck it is, then it like chases you down. But if you avoid it completely, like you don't have to deal with it. But if you take it out, then maybe you get like a cool reward.
I like that. I wasn't a big fan of like the stalker like monsters lately. I feel like it's been in every Rebel, my cat is she's falling. I think I was just a little more disappointed in Village because Lady Demetresk, I was just running past her like constantly. She was not affecting me.
Yeah, when I heard her say "I'll slice you to ribbons" like on the 18th time, I was like, "All right, Lady D."
Just even on the first time, like she monologues too much, and I was just running past her. I was just like, "All right."
And she would always just like stand there. She would come into the room and see you and just stand there for a second, and then like say some quip.
Yeah, like Jack Baker was pretty cool.
Yes,
I think he was sick, including like when he cut off your leg. I was like, "Oh, dude, we're going there." Best. But I think it's you don't have to.
Yeah.
No.
Because it is definitely divisive. People are tired of it.
Yeah.
So I think if you could somehow make it optional, that would be really cool. But yeah, I don't know.
Same boat. I'm kind of indecisive. It depends on how it's executed.
Exactly. Really. Yeah. Because I don't mind him. I dig it. It's such a staple of the franchise. I like that it can add, if you don't overdo it, you can add some like variety, because then it turns into, instead of standing your ground, firing bullets and killing everyone, it's like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. Yeah. So it adds that kind of like adrenaline, like I need to go, like I can't handle this right now, versus like I'm gonna kill everything in sight. So if you can just find that right balance without overdoing it, for sure.
I agree.
Now we expect like good amount of weapon upgrades, like the inventory system. I mean, they kind of like standardize it, like shops, like merchants. Good merchant.
Yeah. Bring back the Duke.
All that to cool. Yeah, all that to be there. But I mean, if you're gonna go open world, one of the more trendy things right now is to throw in some like fun activities. And we did get a little bit in RE4 remake with the return of the shooting gallery and having all those like that. Do you? I mean, it is. Capcom, they like to have some fun sometimes. Do you expect it to even try and go in that direction, or do you think because the nature of 7 and 8 have been a little bit more straightforward and serious, they wouldn't dare to like put something like that in 9 if it's open world?
I feel like with RE4, a lot of people going into it knew it was like campy fun already. So like having the shooting range was not like, oh, you're killing my vibe, my energy. It was just like, yeah, everyone knew it was just a good time type game. Like, we're here to save the president's daughter. You already know it's one of those type of games. But I do feel like for future games, it's kind of hard to balance like fun little mini games with someone's about to like slice your throat the second you walk out this door.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of already like found like ways to work in like little like mini activities, like decoding a key door, like having to like hit the switches to make the arrows light the right panels. They already kind of do that a little bit. And I kind of agree. I don't think they'll go any like further than that. So I didn't know if like you like thought they could like manage to have like one. But the other big thing, if we were going to go open world, that I forgot I wanted to ask you about is getting around. Is it just going to be all on foot? Or do you think they would actually introduce vehicles of some sort, like motorcycles or other types of vehicles to get around?
Leon can't drive, so don't give him a car. Everything he has touch explodes. So just
his motorcycles. His motorcycles in the movies, he's like launching those things everywhere.
Everything. It's since the first introduction to him, he gets into an accident. I don't know.
Yep.
I think they wouldn't do. Like, I mean, they use boats in other games, but that's a little different. That's just to get to the next location to the story, not necessarily like optional.
So maybe they do something like that, where there'd be parts of the world where you could use something just to get across like a lake, or here's a field you need to cross, like here's a tractor to drive across, but you can't drive it through the city or something like that. I don't know. Like so like this restricted vehicles for certain areas.
Yeah, I never even thought of that, Damiani. It's crazy.
Maybe a gondola?
Yeah.
I want a skateboard. I want a skateboard.
Oh man, there you go. There's your mini game, skate park, and that's like gotta like skate and knock over.
Is Dead Rising? Hold on.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
I mean, with like zombie narratives, horses are so important, and it also adds additional narrative stakes because that horse is vulnerable. Zombies love munching on a horse. So if you had a horse, maybe. And you could lose it.
That would hurt a lot.
That'd be insane. But then what would you have to get, like another horse? Then do you just have disposable horses? I don't know, but there's something there because like horses going down in zombie stuff always hurts me. They always like sacrifice the horse to get out, dude. The zombies are just like horse. It's like damn it.
All I just imagined was your horse dies, and then you just hear like a doo-doo-doo-doo effect of another horse coming in, and it just makes me laugh.
Now, we've been talking about like zombies a lot in terms of like what might be like the threat. So I'm kind of curious about the kind of like the enemies in the game. Do you think they will stick to a zombie? Do you think that maybe they go more like psychological stuff, like Bird Box or something, where it's like something like like that, and then like that direction where it's like mind games because of like with Rose and her powers, and like what we saw with 7 and 8, like in the direction they went with that, there is potential for it to be like that. Sorry, Tiffany, you look like you're ready to go.
It's just because we brought it up for a second earlier, but now I'm like full on for this. I want it to be in London, and I want 28 weeks later zombies.
Oh yeah,
and it would be so tense, including a first person you see them like trying to break open the door. I think it would be great if they know how to like put it maybe in first person, since I agree, I think it should be 79 for first person, but imagine how tense it is running away from them, like knowing they're like great. I don't know, I just think it would be kind of sick.
So that's a good thing. Then Tiffany, would you want it, or both of you, would you want it to be like overwhelming odds where it's like very easy quickly? If you start shooting and stuff, you're gonna draw attention, you will get overwhelmed, so it becomes like that style of gameplay. Is that something you'd like to see?
Because then you evolve. It's another evolution of Remake 2 and Remake 4. Because I think of boarding up the RPD facility, trying to keep the zombies out. And then 4 obviously takes that to another level, like barricading things, and you can quickly get swarmed. Go further than that and just keep evolving that type of scenario for sure.
Do you want to go like as far as like Days Gone? I mean, we also have like Dead Rising, where like things can get like a little out of hand. Like how far would you like it to go, basically, or what's like the sweet spot?
Like
you think?
And not as extreme as Days Gone. I think that's a little much. The freaker hordes, but I think it'd be cool if there were, buildings you could go in and you could like stealth your way through. But if you take enemies out, maybe more will come. They'll try to get in. So you really have to start thinking about like escape routes. Like I'm going to go in here. Maybe I'll board up this window or push this desk in front of the door. There's a ladder to get to the roof. Maybe
I will also add on to that, because I still think they're going to bring in the fan favorite BOWs. I still think there's going to be like another variation of hunters a part of this. There's still going to be like a variation of lickers. There's going to be maybe Crimson Heads. Like now the zombies involve, like you could do Crimson Head type zombies.
Yes.
Think of it like that. Not like 28 weeks later, but you saw how fast they are. They're chasing you. I think that was terrifying in Remake.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It could be like that. Best. I think that's a more an idea I'm talking about. Yeah.
I love that.
I have 2 other ideas to run.
Crimson Heads.
Oh, shout out, more like run away and light them on fire, man. Hey,
you see, I think they could put that in the open world. Like they'll come back stronger. They could take some elements from
Evil Within.
This kind of goes to the next question. Funny enough.
So the talking about this made me also think about 2 other elements they could maybe have, because you're talking about the different types of enemies. So do you think they need to come up with maybe a new type of menace enemy, like something that's on the level of like a clicker from like The Last of Us, that like is just so fearsome that because like everything we've got, hunters, lickers, like they are fearsome, but like we've handled them. And like the heroes seem to be like, oh, they're a menace, but like something that even you feel like this is like an even match for them. That's not necessarily like a boss. Do you feel like there's something they could do with that? Or do you think they're just going to rely on like the established, enemies we've seen and maybe just like one up them a little bit like that?
You always got to have your little mini bosses for sure. Your extra powered enemies, of course, such a staple. I don't know what that looks like in 9, but definitely.
You got to keep the traditions going. Every Resident Evil game has that going for that. But,
yeah. Okay. Okay. The other thing is dealing with the disease, the virus, whatever the infection is going to be. Should there be a mechanic where you have to manage it potentially, or like dealing like something like that's going on where you can see adverse effects if you're not dealing with it, like if you don't get like a serum or something?
Outbreak-ish, where you're like getting infected. Do you mean like that?
Yeah, like it's a mechanic you have to deal with throughout the game.
Save it for
Outbreak. Okay.
Yeah, because because the multiplayer element kind of adds to that survival feeling. You have other people to lean on, and you have the vibe of like, if I turn into a zombie, my friends are going to kill me or I'm going to kill them. But in single player Resident Evil, it's just like, I don't mind survival mechanics. I'm cool with that in a lot of games, like whatever. But I don't think it would fit in Resident Evil 9. I just don't, it's such a mainstream, broad appeal game. I just think a lot of people would not be into that. They don't like the anxiety, the pressure. Yeah. Like weapon durability, encumbrance, like survival management. Like people don't want that.
So this other idea question would be bad then too, probably. Would they ever try, like, because you were talking about like replayability, but also not seeing everything on your first playthrough. If an idea was like, could they borrow from the Dead Rising series and have like a time deadline, and you're not going to be able to do everything in one playthrough, so you'll miss certain events and activities. Like you might miss a whole boss sequence or character that you might not even come across because you just weren't there in time or you didn't do things in a certain order. And so that's
mechanic in Dead Rising 1 and 2 are my favorite things.
I'm not against it.
Keep them out. Keep them out of Resident Evil though. Keep them out.
I'm not against the idea, but they have to like implement it really well if that's the case.
Yeah, it gets really tricky for sure.
Could it just be there without a time limit then? Like there are just like options. Like I think it's expected. There'd be optional things you could just miss if you don't do certain things. Okay. Yeah. What about like the level of like, cryptic nature of certain things? Like do you want it to be pretty much like, because there's a lot I'm getting into the document stuff, like reading in Resident Evil, like is it stuff you can only like figure out if you like read some documents, like, oh, there's a building over in this part of town and here's like a combination to go in there, but if you don't read the documents you'll never be able to go into that. Stuff you'd like to see? Okay.
100%. I mean, that's a staple of Resident Evil. That is honestly, the documents are half of the freaking reason when I was a kid that I became truly obsessed with this franchise. Reading those documents put an extra layer of immersion inside and outside of the game for me. I would think about like, it just made it more real because you just hear these stories from these people that were there, and it just like, it added this realism to it. And then of course, like a lot of those documents give you hints and clues and codes to safes and whatnot. So I love the idea of having that type of gameplay mechanic in an open world. Like, yeah, for sure.
Before I forget, both of you, because you talked about like puzzles, like I think it was like the combination locks. Do they need to have a penalty for just guessing wrong stuff? Because they're like, you can just brute force them. Is there time to do something about that?
Please, that's so good. You try to open the safe and it like
and then it brings people in. I like repercussions, so yes.
That is fantastic. That's such a good idea.
Good, because I was like tired of like it's 3 digits. Okay, here I go. I didn't see the clue. I can just stay here for like 3 minutes and get this done. That frustrated me so much I could get away with that.
I'm completely guilty. Like in Code Veronica, there's a puzzle where it's like you have to get the temperature right. And as a joke, I put my birthday and I was right. It was 12/8. So I never looked. I still don't know where that I know where it is now, like the file, but I found out years later. I just got lucky. was like, oh,
so hilarious. That's so funny.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, is there anything else you like kind of want to like see out of like Resident Evil? We talked about characters, we talked about settings, we talked a lot about like mechanics. I know we talked about like upgrades and weapons. Are there any like other systems you want to see? Yeah, go ahead.
Like even if it's a new character that comes in RE9, I mentioned this before to like one of my friends. They could do what they did with Resident Evil 3 and do an epilogue for all the characters and tell you where they are, even if they're not part of the game, just so it's like we're giving back to the people who are a part of this and want to know what happens to Jill Valentine, who knows what happens to Leon, what happens to Hunk, what happens to Barry. Like you could do like every single playthrough, you unlock another story. I think that would be a nice little treat, a nice little gift. If they don't bring back anyone, I mean.
I want to take down the Akatsuki, aka the Connections. These seeds have been planted since Resident Evil 7 and hinted at more in 8. This organization, this like new, that spun off from Umbrella.
Yeah, from Mia, right?
Well, Mia was like undercover or whatever, but then in 8 it was like George Bailey or whatever, who was like the scientist in 5, and then he went and like started it. Yeah, the Connections. I need to take them out. I want to take them out, and I want to see like I want each of these people to have different personalities. Like go Metal Gear style. Like make each one of these people some like bio like Krauser and Wesker, dude. Like imagine if you take like that's the goal of the game is to like take out all of these people. You've like your hit list.
Ooh,
you're an assassin or something. You play as somebody new, and you're in some assassin, or even Rose
Not
working for the BSAA. Or
what happened to Alex Wesker? They turned into what was it? In Revelations?
Yes, you've got the Revelations 2 hanging threads. You have BSAA like being sketch as well.
BSAA.
Like,
I was gonna ask about that too.
Yeah, there's so many loose threads here that we can just tug on.
Isn't Alex Wesker now taking over this person's body?
Yeah, yes.
So like, what's happening? Weren't you living with Barry? Oh,
yeah. Imagine that prologue of the game, dude. Like playing as Barry, and that all hell breaks loose at Barry's house.
Dang.
He's cooking dinner.
Full like Exorcist vibes.
Levitation just suddenly. Oh, poor Barry. He already lost a kid before.
Dude, yeah, Barry's punished Barry.
Punished Barry.
So glad we got
There's a lot of
Revelations
loose
2.
ends, though. There is a lot of loose ends. Wasn't there supposed to be a Revelations 3 soon?
There was a rumor about that.
Yeah.
But not sure if it was like.
Hey, maybe
legit.
Switch 2, Damiani.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll just put the regular Resident Evil games on Switch. Hopefully, RE Engine can run on Switch 2. I mean, successor. Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah. I had one last like crazy thing to ask about the Resident Evil 9 potential, because I don't think it's going to happen. But like, I like throwing out crazy stuff. We did this in our the Rebirth spoiler mode with Max. I joked with him about a crazy theory.
Isn't George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life? Sorry.
Oh, is this your crazy theory, Hubert? Oh, okay.
So sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry about Max this morning, but I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, because this is something. These are music to your ears, possibly. Because you've been asking for this game to come back. Could they throw in dinosaurs into this game and work in Dino Crisis elements into RE9 just to give you that if they're not going to ever touch Dino Crisis?
I feel like it would be a slap in the face. Truly, it'd be a slap in the face.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would love a Dino Zombie, of course. That would be fun and cool. But also, I would be like, where the hell is Dino Crisis? Why are you tormenting us?
Okay.
I thought they were trying to test that out with Exo Primal originally. So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll do that. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on that, Tiffany?
No, with dinosaurs, no. But I do feel like every Resident Evil game kind of gives a hint to like new mechanics that they want to bring into the next game. So always look out for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I say.
Well, it's like if it's in a city, there might be a zoo. And so if the outbreak affects the zoo,
Outbreak, baby, yeah. The Outbreak Zoo is so hype.
Unfortunately, there won't be dinosaurs there, but,
Zombie elephant, dude. That thing is insane. Zombie is so insane. The pursuer, man. The zombie elephant.
They're riding the elephant.
Technically, in RE6 we had dinosaurs. Technically,
that's true. It was like a transformation into one.
I don't understand. He was a dinosaur and a bug. A dog.
I wish there was a way to retcon Simmons. I just wish
there
was a way. It would take a full-on remake to eliminate the biggest blunder in Resident Evil story history, Simmons.
Yeah.
Truly brings the whole franchise down. Truly. Yeah. Making him the mastermind of Raccoon City and everything. It's just horrible. I hate
Disgusting.
Nah. Yeah. That was a good segue though, Huber. Because you said remaking 9. We talked a little bit about like 9. What about the next Resident Evil remake? Because we're like, there's definitely one coming, but we've gone through. Oh,
Code Veronica.
I have a hot take.
Okay.
All right. So I want Code Veronica as badly as you. I want it to happen. I love Code Veronica. Not everyone does, but I do like it. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like if you want to promote Wesker and show his origins. So I mean, yeah, but I feel like people kind of want to do the original Resident Evil, see why he did what he did. Then it'll be like a Code Veronica thing. Because if you think about it, it's like Resident Evil 1, Code Veronica, RA5. It's like his beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
So I do feel like it might be like a Wesker trilogy since they want to make a money maker out of him. As well. And 4 too now. Well, yeah, that counts. But people are like, who the hell is this guy?
For sure. I think like Resident Evil 0 to me is the worst mainline Resident Evil. I have a lot of problems.
Shake my hand. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's by far it's not a great story. Mm-hmm. It's very cumbersome to play. Like somehow being able to drop items makes inventory management 10 times harder and worse. Like
worse.
I
will argue I like the train. The train
is incredible.
I love it.
I love the train. But
everything else after, no.
Yeah. If they remake 1 again, because it's already been remade, of course, into perfection, I feel like
too perfect too. That's what kind of stops me a little bit.
Exactly, it's perfection. So it's like maybe we don't remake 0, we remake 0 and 1 together, and we have 3 scenarios. You can choose Chris, Jill, or Rebecca.
Ooh.
And you combine them somehow, and then you can really go into the origins of Marcus and Trevor and Wesker, and you can really flesh it out into one big game. Of course, that would be a little weird because now you're sullying Resident Evil 1's perfection with 0 elements in there. Mm-hmm. But again, we already have 2 versions of Resident Evil. Remake 1 will always be there as a perfect game, but it would be pretty ambitious. It would be pretty epic.
I just thought of a new idea. Hang on. You don't remake RE1. You do Code Veronica. Mm-hmm. But what if for DLC, for example, they take what you did as Wesker from Umbrella Chronicles and made it into this is before everything happens. Like that's his origin thing. Maybe something that like teases like, oh yeah, here's a little briefing. I betray stars, haha, but this is how I escaped the mansion and got to where I am. Maybe
that'd be pretty sick. That stuff gets like the Umbrella Chronicles gets like very Resident Evil 6 vibes. It's like out of control. Mm-hmm. But like a Wesker DLC side story. Like I'm always down for Wesker 100%. You're speaking my language. Anything they want to do with Wesker, I'm in.
I think they will definitely. Wesker's gonna be like the face of the franchise again, like coming back because they're gonna do RE5 one day.
Yeah,
one day. It's not a secret.
I think Code Veronica is just so primed. It's so primed right now. It could benefit from a remake so much. And like people got a tease, like newer players got a tease of Wesker in 4. They're like, who is this? Whatever. Code Veronica would fill in those gaps. We have Chris in Village, so they get to be Chris again, see some Chris origins and past stuff. And then Claire as well, Claire in Remake 2. So I think a lot of newer players
tie all together. Yeah,
newer players would be on board and not lost, and they would like because they've experienced all of those elements, and then just obviously, you know, if you're a fan of Code Veronica to begin with,
I always say Code Veronica is like one of the more important stories to push the story forward, but people don't agree with that. I'm like,
it so is. You're so right.
I get that you guys don't like the game. I do like Code Veronica a lot because it punches players for backtracking into the wrong spot. I love that. Because
the zombies respawn and shit. Yeah.
But people are like, oh, like I play the game normally now. I'm like, oh, I could avoid all these rooms. I can know how to do this. But the game will be like, no, you need to pay attention because a banner snatcher will just respawn again if you go back the wrong way. I thought that was cool. I thought it was a nice little punishment. But people didn't like that. So I was like, okay, that's fine. It's cool. But I thought Alexia was cool. Steve could use an upgrade for sure.
Yeah. Like Code Veronica could use such an upgrade more than 5. Like I get wanting a remake of 5, but you go back and you play 5, it's beautiful.
It's so good.
It plays amazing. 5 does not need anything at all. 5 is excellent.
Yeah. The only thing I'd bring up, like with 5, real quick, because I don't know how much we need to go into it, but like there were some issues originally with Resident Evil 5 when it came out. You know, Capcom had to make some changes after initial trailers and demos came out. And do you think in today's setting they would have to like change it even more possibly to update it? So that might be like a bit of a landmine of a game that they might want to stay away from for a little bit longer. So I could see why they don't want to move to 5 just yet. And something like Code Veronica would be more. I think it's probably Code Veronica's next. I do think. Original one is in their minds as well because this completes, you know, it adds that remake, the remake chronology, however they're doing that, and we're 2 years away from the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil 1, so it could be that. But like you're right, Code Veronica. Plus, it fits the meme we came up with that it's gonna be revealed with a big V, and everyone thinks Resident Evil 5. So it's gonna be like, oh, it's Resident Evil 5, and then it shows a Resident Evil logo with a big V, and it's like everyone starts clapping, but like, wait, that wasn't anything like Resident Evil 5, and then a big code just appears in the background, so it's Resident Evil Code V is the official name of the remake.
I like.
So it's really 5 for them, but like it's not 5.
Love it.
Yeah, we trademarked that at Easy Allies a while ago in one of our podcasts when we revealed it. But also, like, story-wise, I think you're right. I'm one of the people who don't necessarily like Code Veronica as much from a game perspective, but the narrative is like, this is incredibly important to the overall lore and storyline and the character development and what happens with the characters. So like they need to figure out a way to bring this into the modern Resident Evil lore. And I think it's the one that needs it. If they want something to make it right, like in my eyes, it's like you do this one next. You make this one modern and get that out there.
And then we get to get some more Umbrella, dude. We get more Umbrella stuff. We get Wesker. We get Chris and Claire, freaking siblings. We get Steve Burnside redemption. Like, I want to be
sad. I want to be so sad when he passed. You know, I want to be like,
yeah, we need this.
I need scrawny Chris back. And you know when he's like pushing the door to try to save Claire? I felt like in that one moment is when he was like, yeah, I need to get strong.
That's why he got buff. Exactly. Couldn't open that damn door.
I think about that all the time. I'm like, it's not the Wesker fight. It's trying to save his sister.
Yeah.
That's why he wants to get buff.
Yeah.
We get maybe that's part of the story. Like we get a training arc with Chris. You know, we see him at the end, like he's like, you know, losing the Wesker in the fight, and it's like, he's like, he takes off his like training weights. He's like, here we go, I'm ready to. Like, now he does his punch, it like lands, and like
some
Wesker
Cobra Kai montage. Puts a bandana on him.
I need to make a quip about what you think you can punch a boulder? Not yet. I'll be back for you, Wesker.
Remind me, doesn't Wesker take Steve's body? Too, like there's still some form of like the Code Veronica virus out there. I know the Dark Side Chronicles girl Manuela had it, but I still think it's still out there because you know
it all became a concoction or whatever with like Ouroboros, right? They combined like G and T and Veronica.
I love letters.
Same.
I'm just saying, Code Veronica is really important to the story, and I always this is a hot take. I always prefer Code Veronica a little bit more than RE3 original, but it's because of the story. But it's story wise.
Yeah, I get that.
Was just let's just escape the city, and you're telling us stuff we already know.
Yeah.
But I think it's more fun.
I'm just Joe Valentine. I'm just Joe Valentine. That's the only reason.
And I will argue Code Veronica soundtrack is a banger. And I would love to hear that remastered.
You're so right. That does not get enough love. Oh my god.
Code Veronica's had one of the best soundtracks. This is not a question. No.
Dude, when Wesker does the flaming punch, and there's like some opera music going on. Okay. So epic, dude.
So this is gonna be my question. Because there's two versions of that punch. Which one you think they will go with? Him getting punched and running away? Or him, no, he gets smacked by Alexia and he's just like, what power is this? And then Alexia like throws him against the wall and he just was like, Chris, you got this. And he just leaves. But in Code Veronica X, he does the punch. I'm like, I kind of want to see him get like messed up.
My favorite, one of my top Wesker moments is X when he does the punch and his arm is on fire and then he just goes,
and
like puts the fire out. It's so sick.
Wasn't there a character model of him with a band-aid arm at one point?
I think in 4 concept art, maybe.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
Or Village concept art. One of those. There's concept art somewhere of that.
There was a concept art of Wesker with a band-aid on his arm. It was really, I'm looking at chat right now.
Leaked.
It was a leak.
Yeah. I think I remember something about that.
I wasn't sure. I just remember seeing on Twitter. I was like, okay. Because it was when RE4 came out. Someone like posted this. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And we've been talking about 0 and 1 in Code Veronica. And then, of course, come on, Outbreak.
Yes.
Or you do a new you either remake Outbreak, you do a new Outbreak. I'm so tired of these weird multiplayer, whatever the hell, like FU reverse. But to be fair, I gotta give a little shout out to Resistance. I really love that game. I really love Resident Evil Resistance. Swimming in sevens, personified. I adore it. I adored playing as G. Birkin, hitting other players with the pipe, grabbing and crushing their skulls. It was incredible. Resident Evil Resistance is criminally underrated, and it hurts my soul that they did not support it. That could have been a special game, and they butchered it, and they killed it. Now they owe us, especially after Reverse. They owe us Outbreak, damn it.
Salute.
Yeah.
I do appreciate one of the characters in Outbreak was mentioned in 7. I know
that was cool. Yeah. Who was it again? Who remember?
Alyssa?
Yes.
The reporter?
The writer, oh my god, yes.
They were mentioned. So it wasn't like they're gone from existence. There's still little tidbits there. Little food here and there.
What would you, Tiffany, would you want a remake of Outbreak or just like a brand new one?
I do like how it is normally, like it would be cool to see a remastered, but I also like things fresh, so I would like a remake because,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be Yoko again.
Hell yeah.
That was my character to go to.
Nice.
But
I'm gonna jump from that building and fall to my death every time.
Oh no. Yeah, like they have all the Raccoon City assets already. It wouldn't be too hard to do, I feel. At least now.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it's always been frustrating that they keep giving us everything but Outbreak, the one thing that people seem to be asking for.
Yeah, they keep
because they've been chasing, because they keep doing the trend chasing. They've just been doing that constantly, and it just has not worked out. And I know you liked Resistance, but even like I feel like Resistance was like not gonna be it. Honestly, they just kept, and like even before that, Operation Raccoon City, it was like, what are you doing? Like, please just do the thing we've been asking for.
So Damiani, I got to put my business cap on, my Brandon Jones hat, and I gotta think if I'm at Capcom and I'm making brand new Resident Evils and remakes single player. My multiplayer one, if I make it, needs to be like continually making money. It needs to be live service-esque. You know, because Resistance and Reverse had like, we're gonna have like seasons and microtransactions and all this. I feel like as shitty as it is to say, like that to me is the only way they would make Outbreak and put enough money into it to make it good. You don't want to have
battle pass.
Yeah, you would have to have like seasons or something to like some way to keep Outbreak going and living.
Wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's not wrong. And I will say, like, if that's what it takes to have it, sure. But I also think like they were doing, like, they were chasing those trends and doing that because they're trying to like make money that way. Yeah. When all they really could have just done is offered an Outbreak remake, just like straight as it was, for like an extra like DLC charge of like $30 or $40. Like, hey, here's this, and then here's this $40 standalone. It's got these missions. You can play them online with your friends, but like that's it. This is what it is. It's not like it's a one.
In my head, an Outbreak game is not like, if you're doing an Outbreak, it is as high budget as Resident Evil Village or 7 or Remake 4, or you know, it is a high effort, high budget game. This is not some side project. This is a full-on game.
That's what I'm gonna ask you. Do you think it will be in-house Capcom, or would it be another?
That's what's scary. Yeah.
That's.
Because
I would want it to be in-house. I would want it deserves to be in-house.
There were rumors, or I don't know if it was rumors, reports, I forget at this point because it's like a blur, the RE4 development, but I remember something about it being developed by another team and then they had to bring it back in-house to finish RE4. So that makes me think that you really, and we want something of that caliber quality, it probably needs to be done in-house. But even like I do think like a battle pass is a way to do it, but I don't know.
It was like, Remake 3. I was in 2.
3 was not. Yeah.
Gotcha. Why can't they do like a $40 version of like Outbreak that has like the base missions, and then like every 6 months there's like, you want more, buy like a $19.99 season pass that will like add on to that as well. Like, here's like the next season of like missions, and do it that way. I mean,
you're right. Okay. So like, you know, because one of my favorite games of the year right now that it has a little bit of Outbreak in it, shades Outlast Trials.
Really?
Outlast Trials, 4 people, amazing game, amazing community too. 4 people teaming up to go on a mission. Yeah, you just add more missions like as it goes on. Sure.
I can see that to a point. I do feel like if they're gonna do an Outbreak, it should still have a beginning, middle, and end. It shouldn't be like a locked out moment. That's a little iffy on if they're gonna make it like, you know, season passes and everything. Like, you gotta like still pay for like a full game. I want a complete game when I buy it. So
same.
It's a little.
It comes fully complete. You pay, you know, $60, whatever, and like when you get through it, you're satisfied.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's more involved, but like they did give us like the mercenaries for free in Resident Evil 4, so I mean,
yeah, but that was so small.
I know,
compared to an Outbreak, it is tiny.
So, like, what if they gave you? But like, what if they gave you a little bit of Outbreak in like Resident Evil 9? It's not the whole thing, but they gave you a mode where it's like, here's one or two like Outbreak style missions, and then see how people react to that. Like, is a convincing stepping stone.
Mean what I was mentioning before, like the 2 characters kind of meet up in that moment.
Something like that, like that. There's a trial thing, and then that convinces them, like, we put our money where our mouth is, we show up, we play, you know, like, see, Capcom, yes, look at the numbers of how many people are playing this right now, like, give us more. And then it becomes like a situation like, okay, we saw it, we're going to start development on a full-blown version of this because you've shown the support is there. Because it's easy for us to say, like, everyone's been clamoring for this, but Capcom, you said they're about money and dollars. What did they do with, like, was it Darkstalkers? They did everything but make a new one, and when like they put out like those re-releases and they didn't sell up to expectation, they like, well, we took that as a sign that we don't want any more Darkstalkers, and the fandom erupted like, wait a second, no, we didn't want this, we wanted a new one. Like, of course we didn't buy this substandard re-release that you put out. So like you misunderstood us. Like, I think they do have a track record of sometimes not reading the room with their fandom and either because it's chasing a trend or they think they know what we really want, and sometimes it's like misfired horribly.
It's okay. I'm still waiting for Mega Man Legends 3 too. I get it. I understand. It's fine. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I get concerned too when they just tack on multiplayer to single player games. A lot of people just dismiss it. You know, they'll beat the whole game, and by then they'll just like because they put so much time into the single player game. By the time they get to the multiplayer, which they usually save until they finish the game, they play it for a little bit. They don't take enough time to fully get in and understand everything, and they're just like, I'm good. I already put like 30 hours in this game. I'm out. I'm tipping out. Like, I want a standalone Outbreak. It deserves it, and I think it writes itself, dude. It's so perfect. Every time one of these multiplayer Resident Evil games come out, it's the same question. Why is this not Outbreak?
Yeah.
I think it would do well. And I think, especially, in today's multiplayer climate, you think of like Resident Evil is one of the biggest franchises on the planet. Multiplayer games right now are huge. So I think the idea of just having this online place where people can play Resident Evil together.
I need proxy chat. I want to see people scream from a distance, and just someone getting eaten. Man. I want proxy chat so badly.
Yeah.
Outbreak.
And I do think a season pass would be pretty popular with something like this. They do the right types of cosmetics, like different like outfits for the characters, different new characters do that as well. Skin.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, like emotes and stuff like that. Like classic tracks, like different versions of music.
They were gonna do that shit with Reverse, but that game crashed and burned.
Yeah,
so,
Reverse.
Yeah, glad. I've never been so glad a game has just failed, dude. F Reverse. Worst. Like if we're saying worst Resident Evil games, it's probably it. It's probably the worst. I'd probably put everything above it. I'd put Survivor above it.
You know what scares me? And I think this might happen before Outbreak. What if they do another Mercenaries game? I feel like they would
standalone.
They did it for the 3DS.
That version was terrible, though.
I know, but people, they see the reactions to Mercenaries all the time and how much people love it. They might make it another co-op thing. It's possible.
A free-to-play Mercenaries?
Maybe if it's free-to-play, yeah.
Free-to-play Mercenaries could be sick.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I just think it... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying, I remember all the backlash they got for Village, their Mercenaries, because it was only Ethan, it was just him, and then they put the new characters in, and then they got the vibe for it in RE4. It's like, yeah, this is the Mercenaries I wanted. So I do feel like they're listening slowly, but they're listening more for Mercenaries and not the multiplayer.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It might be a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was what they had in 4 was enough, and same with like ultimately what ended up in Village. Like it's a nice extra mode. But like if you were to break it off and have to add upon it, I don't know how much more invested I would get into it, because it was a mode that like I like playing in small doses. That was a nice like follow up to finishing the game. It's like, all right, like I played this game. Now it's like, let's test out your like skills in these challenge environments where you're just trying to like survive and get a high score. Making a whole game around that, I would have some concerns that like it wouldn't have the legs that maybe you're thinking it would have. Though I do concede that the 3DS version was not good because probably the platform it was on and the limitations. Like
there's still people doing RE5 Mercenaries to this day, because that Mercenaries is beautiful.
RE5 Mercenaries,
the best.
Because co-op mode, yes, like that was so fun. Yeah,
people the best.
And doing it with like locally, like talking, like oh my god, that was so fun.
Getting a 150 combo, I was living for that. I was playing that more than the main story at that point.
So fun.
Yeah,
that hell out of that.
It has potential.
It has potential.
Yeah, it has potential.
Possibly.
So, aside from like we talked about the remakes here, and ideas for that, ideas for the sequel. Going forward, though, we've had a bunch of Resident Evils that have come out in the last few years, and it's kind of like the last topic we're going to talk about here. I'm kind of like, you have talked a little bit about your likes and some dislikes of the most recent games, but like I'd like to dive into that a little bit like further. So with like 7 and 8, stuff. It could be, you could start wherever you want. Like
remake. I hate the boat section.
Okay, go ahead.
The boat section in RE7. Absolutely disliked. It dragged the game down for me. I was tired. I was just like, it was not hitting. No, it was just a downhill from there. And then once you come back as Ethan, it was just guns blazing. I had no fear in my eye. The final boss was whatever. Ever since the boat, it was just downhill.
The boat is like, I remember it's like when you're back like on the like wrecked boat, like inside as what's her face. I always get frustrated at that part, and like when I replayed it, Huber, I was like, oh, I still got to go through this part again. So it was a bit of a downer, and I was like, I just want to get past this to see what happens again. I think the first part I was like, oh my god, we're doing this, but as I played
that's such a Resident Evil trope is like giving you the best environment first. You know, like I love a good lab at the end, but there's always some like weird.
You got to go through the boat twice.
You got to go through some, like, like even I think of Resident Evil 2 original, and then you go in like the sewers, and like the sewers are fine, that's cool, whatever. Or like Resident Evil 3 remake, it's like, dude, we're in the police station in the city, but then we're in like the waste management area, and then Resident Evil 4, the island compared to the mansion and the village. So yeah, just Resident Evil games. Maybe they should start with the shitty area first and then end with
drawn in. That's the big question. Because if I start off in a shitty area and I'm like already 3 hours in the game, I'll be like, oh, this is kind of. You gotta hit them with at least a decent part first. Then not the shitty part first, because I will be not invested.
And then even Village, Village, the first couple times, like I've come around to it a little more, but the factory. In Village.
The factory is kind of
Thankfully, when you know what to do, that like probably one of like the shortest areas.
You know what? Talking about what to do, I loved it the first time, but I absolutely hate the baby section because it's the most boring thing after your first playthrough. It's boring. It's the same thing. There's no difference.
Wait.
All the surprise is gone. It's just a drag.
It's a fair point.
The beginning of the game, or are you talking about the lady?
Manor.
Oh wait! So even the first time you didn't like that?
No, the first time was great.
Oh, okay, yes, okay, thank you. But yeah, replaying it's annoying. Terrible. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying on replays because it's like, all right, I have to wait for this to happen. All right, I gotta have to wait in the spot for it to come here, and I can run past it. But yeah, like I hated that. Like a good hate on my first playthrough of that.
Yeah,
I streamed that. Was great.
Chat knew it. I was like noping hell out of a lot of that parts. I was like, not opening that door. You have to open the door. No, I don't want to open that door. Please don't make me open that door.
The factory also kind of deals with that. Like I was adding on, even in a replay through, it's just like first playthrough, I was like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I've come around to the factory. I do like it more now, but I definitely prefer like obviously Lady D's mansion and like the village outside, and even the manor like is so cool, the house or whatever with the baby. I really like, even though it's like you're going through it again, I still really like that section. The water section is like whatever.
The water section doesn't really have like many enemies at all. No.
Yeah, it's more like figuring out where to go.
Yeah, I respect what they were going for. Just different types of horror and different,
felt like a Frankenstein, like OG type horror. Like
different types of encounters. There's not much I don't like in Resident Evil. That's why it's my favorite franchise ever. Yeah, I don't even know what I really dislike, dude. Honestly, just Resident Evil 6.
What about,
and just like the bombastic, like the more they need to make sure it doesn't get too out of control again. That's why 7 is so incredible that it grounded it again. Village crank that up just a little bit, but it's still so grounded. And like I was saying earlier, how much I love the like psyops element of Resident Evil horror now, like bioweapons, but like psychological, mental like, powers and stuff. So yeah, just as long as they don't jump the shark and make it like out of control, that's all that's my only fear of Resident Evil moving forward. And other than that, I have no complaints.
I feel like I'm on the Resident Evil is my favorite franchise. My favorite Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 2, 1998, always going to be one of my favorite ones of all time. But I always do feel like it's good to like criticize. Like I know you have your criticisms with it too, but there's some parts I'm like, that could have been a little better. Like I still think about it to this day. The Resident Evil 7 ending, it did not feel like an ending to me at all. I was like, there's no stakes here. It's kind of, it felt super dry to me. I did like Village ending a lot because it felt like a Dark Souls boss. I was like, oh shit, all right, it reminds me of, no, not Dark Souls. It gave me the Bloodborne vibe. Oh my God, what's their name in Bloodborne? You guys know what I'm talking about. They will teleport. They kind of look similar to Mother Miranda in that moment. If you're a Bloodborne person in chat, tell me the name. It's like slipping. But I enjoyed that fight. It felt like, oh yeah, this is the ending of the game. 7.5 that for me. And it kind of really disappointed me.
Yeah. I like the Jack part in 7 at the end, like in the vision and stuff. And then obviously when when Chris shows up, but he's like different looking Chris, that was weird. Yeah. But yeah.
Man.
I was gonna ask about the all the recent ones, both the remakes and the 7 and 8 had this issue to me where you're locked out of areas once you progress past a certain point. So when they talked about the 9 being open world, the one hope I had is that I don't get locked out of previous areas, that I can go back, or like when you come back around, things have changed and maybe certain like areas aren't accessible, like RPD in 2. When you come back out into the area, it's like, it's a little bit different at that point. It's like you have a stalker enemy and you also have like, some of the rooms have been like locked out.
The more I think about it, I think every single Resident Evil game has a lockout area. I think the only one that didn't is 1, no? Resident Evil 1, you could be at the end of the game and just go all the way back to the mansion. But in Resident Evil 2, you can't go back on the carts from what I recall.
2 will lock you out.
3 locks you out.
Even 0, you can like go back to the wrecked train, but you can't like go on the train.
Yeah. 3 was a lockout moment from what I recall.
Yeah.
Code Veronica definitely locks you out.
Oh, it definitely does.
You up.
Hard lock.
Yep.
Yeah, I think most games has a lockout moment. I don't know. It's like a point of no return. So maybe the game will tell you there'll be a point of no return. Maybe that
something like that. Because I guess like with the remakes and the newer iterations, I thought maybe they would try and like buck that trend, but they didn't really. They kind of like preserved it. So I didn't know if like that's something that ever bothered you, because a lot of these games, like there's missable stuff and it's like, oh well, that's for second playthrough. I didn't get that one item.
I play them 100 times, so I really don't mind.
But we're not normal. We aren't the normal people. It's the truth. Because I have family members who tell me this before. I'm like, oh, you didn't see this one scene? They're like, Tiffany, I played the game once and that's it. Sometimes I forget that's the case with a lot of players. People just, for example, you know what? I'll bring this up. My dad had no idea there was a Leon B, because he would always do the A scenarios. He would do Claire A and Leon A. We also didn't have a memory card, so but he had no idea about
Leon B is my fave.
Leon B is
the
Leon
best.
B is my favorite.
The best.
But most players play the game once and that's it.
Yeah,
that's one thing we have to consider.
Speaking to that is my biggest desire moving forward, is like they have nailed the replayability so well, but lean into multiple playable characters and multiple scenarios. Please bring that back. And not even just multiple playable characters, like dramatically different storylines, like gameplay. Like you're playing as this person on this side of the game, you're playing as this person on this side, like completely different environments and
do
a
you
different
want
path.
It to be like 1.5 then? Because it was supposed to be Elijah, Elise, and Leon, and they weren't supposed to cross paths. It was just different stories of different RPDs. You want it to be kind of similar?
You can have moments where you cross, for sure, but definitely more variety. Like when I pick someone else, I want it to feel like really different. Because just remake 2, being so similar as Leon and and Claire. Yeah.
Killed me. Yeah. Man. I mean, I still like the game, but like after the hype die down. I was just like, ooh, there's a lot of criticism here because why are we fighting Birkin 4 times in the same area? I didn't like that.
Never enough Birkin fights for
you were those Birkin.
Yeah, but
Birkin all day, every day.
I get that they made the G enemy a sewer enemy now, which was pretty cool. I thought at the time that was a nice little take, but I feel like they should have had something else to replace for the B scenario. Mr. X is chasing you in all 4 scenarios. I was just like, that's kind of weird.
I've always thought this, but I also saw it on social the other day. Like, I've had this thought, and they said it on socials. I forget who it was, but it was like, dude, if Resident Evil 2 Remake had an extra year in the oven,
oh my god,
like 1 more year, and they did lean into the A/B scenarios, like it could have been the greatest game of all time.
It would have been.
Like,
I'm thinking about it now. Don't worry, in 2040 we'll get another Resident Evil remake. Something. Hopefully. Oh, that's too sad. Oh no. But that's the thing. There was like a lot of inconsistency with RE2 remake. Like Annette gets shot, but in the other scenario, you're with your daughter. How does that work? That made no sense. I don't get it. Does no one remember that? It's weird. So there was a lot of there's a lot of inconsistency with the scenarios. Like you're telling me Mr. X lifted the helicopter thing every single time someone comes by. Weird. I don't know. I did like in the original, you see like Claire explodes the helicopter room, and it's like Leon's in the sewers at this time.
Yeah, the A and the B crossover in the original is so superior,
way better.
For sure. Also, bring back a fixed camera Resident Evil. It's time.
Like a mode or a whole game?
Whole game
with no option.
Like Prince of Persia, the new Prince of Persia. It's just a little smaller game. It's $40-$50.
Oh, you mean like a smaller scale Resident Evil, like looks old school?
Yep.
So like Crow County or whatever, like doing like that style. Like maybe it could be done by a different developer, but Capcom still publishes it.
Yep.
Perhaps
you don't have to play it, Snuggles the gamer. You don't have to play it.
No. I think he was saying no to Kitten's message. They were saying RE2 remake is better than the original, though I never played the OG. I think they're responding to that.
Snuggles, you're correct.
That's what I was like, wait, no. Time out.
And you want to have tank controls?
Absolutely.
I like tank controls. I'm a sucker for tank controls, but I know people are like, oh, they're too hard to get into. It's like, you can do it. It's fine.
Absolutely. Bring them on. But you can do tank controls, but they can feel like less tanky. Yeah.
Less.
You know what I mean?
His face. He's like,
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. I mean, I just like RE4. Like I love RE4, and so like RE4 remake just did like so much well. And it's like a perfect world where both exist, and both to me are like freaking almost perfect games to me. So like I don't like, the thing is that's like a very unique game, and I feel like anything going forward, there's more that you need to actually like change, like because none of the ones past 4 I feel like have that level of critical acclaim. Like everything 4 before, I think like 4, 3, 4 and 2 especially, and 1 have so much acclaim, and they already had like a lot to stand on, and to an extent 3. But I do feel like Code Veronica, if they decide to do 5, even if we get to the future and they decide to like, oh my god, like 6, there's so much to do there. Simmons. So that's my question: is like, do we get?
I love Sherry. It was cool to see her.
It's like, how much do these remakes possibly diverge more from their source material? Because they've been close. I would say like 3 was probably like the most different of any of them, probably, because they cut so much from it. Like it was just missing so much. I don't know if I only played 3 once with Hubers.
The narrative is
it's the same
right there.
Yeah. So okay, so narratively it's the same, but
RE2 remake has a lot cut out too. Personally, like they took out everything from after the sewers to the lab. I kind of missed that area.
They
took that out.
Oh yeah, that was that area. I forgot.
Yep.
It was
but I feel like
giant moth.
I feel like Code Veronica onwards, it would be like even significantly different. Like story wise, I think they're gonna make a bunch of changes, and like the game, like the design of the game is gonna be like pretty significantly, like probably the most different we've ever seen. I mean, do you agree with that? And or do you kind of like any of the ones I've said, do you not want that to happen? Do you think they should try and remain a little bit more faithful to those?
I'm trying to think if they would bring in like gunpowder again. Would they bring in the dodge mechanic? What would they do for Code Veronica to like if they want to add on to it? You think they'll bring back like gunpowder and stuff? Because RE2 didn't have that, but they did bring it for
maybe Chris has gunpowder and can make more ammo, but then Claire can dodge or something. So you make him feel a little different.
I mean, she ran from bullets from a helicopter.
Yeah.
I think that'll be cool. Like they have their own little gimmick.
Yeah. You really define, like, I really want that. I really want like more defined characters that have different play styles and different environments and even different enemies. Like, just make them so different for sure.
Yeah, I think Claire obviously have the Banner Snatcher. Chris to have the Hunters.
Yeah, exactly. I think Steve Burnside is the character who will benefit from a remake more than any character in this entire franchise. The redemption arc here, dude. Like we can make, because on paper, Steve Burnside's story is really good. It's super good. His VO is just over the top and not the best. He looks like Leonardo DiCaprio randomly. And he does some creepy things with Claire and says some creepy shit.
Do you remember that rumor that Steve was supposed to be Leon?
No.
That was a rumor a long time ago. Because years, like 20 years ago, there was a voice acting credit thing. And they put up Leon before the game even came out. Like Leon was supposedly there. They was like, interesting. But I also want to argue, I think Alfred would have the best fleshed out from a remake. I think it'd be Alfred
for sure,
because he gets shitted on a lot.
He
gets a lot of including like when he does a flip falling over and then he's just like the rock, no, this cliff. I was like, no, Alfred, I'm sorry. Alexia is gonna be cool though. I think Alexia is gonna have the best fights. I think
people that haven't played Code Veronica don't even know, dude. Alexia will be sick.
That was one of my favorite villains.
Dude.
I thought she was cool. She beat Wesker's ass on my side because I played Code Veronica, not X. So I thought she was kind of cool for that. But they took that away from me. They took it away.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I think the story will remain largely the same, just little extra details here and there, but like the core storyline.
Gotcha.
They're gonna add more cameos to Leon because he was already in Code Veronica. Like Claire's like sending an email, like
send an email to Leon.
Yeah, that whole thing kind of made no sense. It's like, and then Chris.
No, but then Leon contacted Chris. Yeah. That makes sense.
I was a little thrown off by it originally. I'm like,
it felt very distracting for sure.
Like Leon had Chris's information already. At that point, because she got kidnapped 3 months after. Why did you just contact Chris beforehand?
I don't think we'll ever get a standalone Hunk game, but moving forward, there should be a Hunk side story or like a Hunk mini game in every single Resident Evil game.
A Hunk heist mission.
Like, it is insane that like the last time we heard about this character in universe is Code Veronica, and like that was even in the past him like bringing in a sample and they couldn't look at it or know what it was, and he was like pissed about the security measures. And it's like, this character is so awesome, there's so much there, but that's also kind of cool that he is very mysterious, and I think we're always gonna want more, and I think that's kind of the point, is that like he's just this wild card umbrella merc, and he's
who
badass.
Survived Birkin's pipe.
Survives everything, and he's just super mysterious, and it's like, does it need to be more than that? I don't know. I think it's cool as is, but like, yeah, I think a nod, you got to at least have another nod in Code Veronica, because there is that document on that table from him. So
Code Veronica tie up a lot of loose ends, and I think it will be nice to see. Like I said, you have Leon there, you have Hunk there, you could possibly bring in something from Barry, because apparently Claire and Barry were friends beforehand, so it would have been nice. Maybe like, oh, I tried to contact. They didn't. I don't know if Claire and Jill were like cordial before. I don't know. I'm not sure.
All I want, I feel like the Resident Evil storyline, if it ends, I want to end it as Jill Valentine.
Yeah.
Before a reboot, like it is insane, like that we have not. I mean, you have Desperate Escape, of course, but or no, you don't. Yeah, that's just Sheva and what's his name? Or no, it's Jill and Josh. So we have Jill in that. So we have Desperate Escape was like the last, and like Lost in Nightmares, but that's like, flashback stuff.
You're not counting CGI movies, right?
And the CG, like Death Island and stuff. But it's like, let me have Jill in the modern timeline. Like, where is she? She's been gone for so long, it feels like. Resident Evil 5 was so long ago, I think people forget. Like, what is that, 2009 or something?
Yeah.
That was 15 years ago. Because we got Resident Evil Remake 3, sure, but it's like well, like Remake 3 is a remake. Like we already know about Jill in Raccoon City and escaping and everything. Like the last time we got new playable Jill shit was Resident Evil 5 15 years ago. That's insane. Where is this character?
You think if they bring her back?
Revelations 1, I forgot about Revelations 1.
No, but Revelations is not the last of the canon like storyline. That's before.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's where my head. Thank you. Yes, that is where my head's at.
You're not wrong necessarily.
Yes.
But the last canonic time for Jill in the game, don't bring up the movies, in the game was Resident Evil 5.
Yeah. Which is insane to me.
Do you think if they bring her back after everything that happened in RE5, will she have more like abilities? Because she technically has, I'm trying to see, will she have a different play style?
I think so. Because
Wesker fucked her up.
Yeah. That's disturbing.
Will she be aged? Apparently she
like doesn't age as much. Yeah. The like stuff in her like slowed her aging down, they said.
But I feel like they said that to hint maybe she will come back, perhaps. Like she's like her body's like a 35-year-old right now, like tip-top shape. Possibly.
Like the final showdown, she's like putting her beret on. It's like Rambo or the Commando, the face paint, like the beret.
What? I just saw like Ash Ketchum for some reason. She's turning the beret and getting serious. Yeah, they don't want to show us old Jill, but she is infected. That's not like out of nowhere. This did happen in RE3.
Sure.
Not out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Weird enough though.
Wesker being Wesker. Freak.
Yeah. He's a really weird guy. Very weird. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the reason I brought up the story stuff and that they would like keep to it is because the gap from the end of RE4 remake to RE7, like how we get to the start of Resident Evil 7 and like Chris showing up at the end and where we leave at RE4 and what happens in the already existing RE5 and 6 and Code Veronica. I do wonder if Capcom may be looking at all that and saying, we have an opportunity here to change up stuff if we want. We can still get from end of RE4 remake to RE7 a different way. So do you think they would actually be as bold as to we get a Code Veronica, we get a 5, and we get a 6 remake someday, but they are drastically different story-wise than what we've already seen. Do you think they would dare do that?
I don't know.
Do you think Wesker's not a father anymore? Is Jake gone from existence?
I mean,
no. I don't think they do anything that extreme.
I'm not too bad with Jake. I think he's okay at most. I like the whole like we have both shitty fathers.
Yeah, I like the him and Sherry combo for sure.
I like those.
That's a good dynamic.
That's my favorite part of 6.
There's so much BSAA stuff in Revelations 1 that is like the BSAA primer. So it's like, do they, like I was saying earlier with remaking 1 and you combine 0, do you remake 5 and combine Revelations?
Yeah.
I don't know. Then like how big are these games? Like, is that stuff weighing down? Like, because I'm not a huge Revelations 1 fan. I love Revelations 2, but Revelations 1 is one of my lower on the list.
I have
so
beef
then
with
are we
Revelations 2.
What's up?
I have beef with Revelations 2.
Number 2?
Yes.
Oh, I love 2.
Because it used to be episodic. So I used to get upset. Do you remember when it was every 2 weeks?
Yeah, I love that.
I hated that.
Oh, I love
absolutely
episodic.
hated that.
Oh.
I was so mad.
It's like, let me just sit on this. Yeah. See, Damiani's a binger with shows, and I like
I wanted the full game.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like Resident Evil was the proper game to do episodic, like compared to like The Walking Dead and, you know, at the time the Telltale games. I know those were fine, but when it came to Resident Evil, it's like, no, let me just play. Have beef with it. It's not a bad game. I just had beef with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even like Rebecca, you know, Chad's bringing up, and it's like there are as we keep talking about this, there are so many loose ends. And Tiffany, I think you nailed it too with like, yo, the OG cast and like all these old characters are iconic. They're incredible. We love them like family, but also it's nice when we get new faces in there. So it's just such a tough balancing act because there are all these old fan favorites. Like Sheva gets brought up so much. I love Sheva, who's just a one-off. And it's like, dude, give us more Sheva. You know, Rebecca has barely been around in this series. And don't even get me started on the Resident Evil movie with her. I will throw up in my mouth.
The second movie. I hate the second movie.
I hate it.
Oh, and third movie, actually. I'm sorry. Is it the third one?
The one Vendetta, Resident Evil Vendetta, the animated movie. I think it's the third one.
It's the third one.
Despise it with all of my hatred. And yeah, so it's like it's so tough. It's like we want new characters, but also like someone, you know, even if Revelations is the last time Jill showed up, like technically in like a new Resident Evil, not a remake, that was still 12 years ago.
I think they're gonna bring her back. Honestly, she got a lot of positive, you know. In
like,
general,
look how long it took for Barry Burton to come back in Revelations 2. So it's like this cast is massive. And then like one final note about the story of like, you know, with 9 possibly is it's unfortunate that Resident Evil 6 already kind of gave us our Avengers Assemble moment for this franchise. I will get
mad because you mentioned Helena. Like, it should have been Jill.
Should have been Jill.
It should have been Jill.
It just should have been Jill. Absolutely, 100%.
I think the whole cast was there except for Jill, and it pissed me off. Yeah. I was like,
so it's like if 9 just does that again, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to do this big Avengers Assemble, but also it's like we kind of already did this. Like I don't know.
That's why I say like maybe new characters do the epilogues, so people maybe they see like, oh, this character really they want them to come back, or maybe they want this person to come back. I think it'll be cool to see epilogues of all the characters you like how Resident Evil 3 did that.
I love those epilogues.
Exactly, and like I said, that will give you a new replayability every time you beat the game. You unlock a new story, and it's not just a picture. Maybe it's like a little 30-second clip. Who knows? It could be whatever. It would be cool.
I love it.
Will be nice.
All right. Anything else that we really haven't touched upon that you really wanted to get off your chest before we wrap it up here?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
RE0 pisses me off. Why is there a scorpion on the train? I love the train. Why is there a scorpion on the train? I don't understand.
How did that scorpion get there?
How did he get there? I ask this question all the time.
Did it hatch? Maybe it hatched on the train.
That big? It's huge. I think about it constantly. I'm like,
that is a tough boss fight. You better have that hunting shotgun thing. You better be ready. That fight is intense.
It's intense, but you can also stun lock it with the knife. There's a nice little
knife
moment.
Cheese.
It's like
Knife cheese is the best.
Nice.
Reset the room. Reset the room. Knife cheese on liquors and that. What was it? Was it RE3 or RE2 the challenge thing? Remember I was showing you that, Huber? You just walk in and you get that spot.
Yeah. Incredible. It was 2. It was 2.
Oh, it was 2? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
The hunk one, dude.
Oh, yeah.
The hunk. Resident Evil 2 hunk.
That whole survival thing was meant, like, cheese is the name of that. Like, you just got to find out the way to cheese everything and you win.
Yeah. That's my one of my final sentences. Why is there a scorpion on a train? That pisses me off. Remake Code Veronica.
Remake Code
There you
Veronica.
go.
True.
Remake Code Veronica.
I feel like 9 should be next though, because we just had 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm
New one I think is due.
Waiting with bated breath.
What if they don't do 9 or a remake and just do another spin-off game?
Oh, like a Revelations 3. Yeah.
Tundra Boy Muck has yes.
Oh, here we go. You set off Huber. Wait. We set off Huber.
Can they please just put the original trilogy on modern consoles? Holy shit. What are you doing, Capcom? Do you not want our money? Do you not want us to give you money? This is insane. There is no excuse. There's no reason. We did get one. We did get Resident Evil 1
that ported. Doesn't count.
We did get the original Resident Evil 1 ported, but where are 2 and 3? Where are they? It's insane to me. It is insane that if I want to play my favorite video game of all time, Resident Evil 2, that I need to get out either my PS1 or my PS3. It is insane. It is insane. To stream that game is absolutely insane because I need to get my PS3 out. I need to plug in like all these other adapters to bypass HDCP and all this shit. It is absurd. It is.
I play on my GameCube.
As I say, you can play on GameCube, Huber.
I play on GameCube all the time.
The GameCube version's sick.
It's really good.
It is.
No HDCP needed.
I've got the GameCube version as well. Yeah, I just like my and the Dreamcast version too for sure. I guess just it's my favorite game of all time, so I just like playing that like core version, the N64 version. Now
the controls on that one, yeah.
Oh god,
insane. The N64 version is like kind of the best in some ways for sure.
Bring that forward.
Was it a Dreamcast? Which one has the randomizer again?
I think it's N64.
Yeah,
they've got like green. You make green blood. There's extra files. Yeah.
I just did the Dreamcast version recently with Max. I was just playing it through. I was like, yay. I love the old school nostalgic. I love hearing the gunshots. I was like, oh, I miss this. I miss this so much.
Yeah.
Man. Now I'm upset because I want to speedrun RE2 again.
I know, just port it. Make it as easy as possible for everyone to play.
Give me a category not,
When's the next Resident Evil anniversary? 30th anniversary? So then we'll go through this again with Huber. Yeah.
That's my question. Is I demand answers, Capcom. I demand answers. Tell us why. If you have a good excuse, I'll accept it. I'll accept my fate.
I hope they didn't lose assets. That would be that would
terrible.
I feel like it's not the reason, but it would be scary.
Yeah. How about in Resident Evil 9, you beat it and you unlock the entire OG trilogy or something?
Like in an arcade cabin, you're in the open world and you're in a game like corner and you plug it in and it's suddenly there, like some Yakuza shit.
Perfect.
Oh, I would love that.
But yes, during the last anniversary, every single event, Huber was like, all right, drop it. And when they didn't, a Huber rant would follow.
Yeah.
But it's true because a lot of people want to play the OGs. Like there's people who have never played Resident Evil and want to access these games. They don't have a PS1 or PS3 or GameCube to play it, but they want to know the original story. I don't know what to do. Shit.
Yeah. It's truly insane. It's crazy. It's crazy.
What if
there's really no reason?
What if they do a deal with Nintendo again, like they did back in 2001, 2002? Put the ports on there.
It's Nintendo exclusive. That'd be crazy.
I think that would be pretty funny.
Yeah,
a nice little tradition. I mean, they did it with RE0 and RE1. It was there for a while, and RE4. All the games were there.
Yeah,
and I think about
Code Veronica being Dreamcast for a year. That was sick. That was a glorious time for me. I was so happy because I had Dreamcast and I had access to the new Resident Evil. Oh, I was so happy. Happy times.
That's when I played Resident Evil 4. I didn't know Separate Ways was a thing until like maybe 10 years later.
Oh,
crazy.
Wow.
Because I didn't have my PS2. It was like my cousin's PS2. So I played it on GameCube. It wasn't on GameCube.
Yeah, it was the
Simon Ada.
The Wii version had it, right? Or included
Wii
it?
did,
or, yeah, that's when I first was able to play it because when they put it on Wii in like 2007 or something. Yeah. But I mean, I didn't have it originally because I only had the GameCube version as well, for sure. Yeah. But
I didn't want to like redo everything. I'm like, I don't need to do that. But then I got it on Steam. I'm like, I never played this.
Yeah, it's really crazy too. Again, sorry to keep hammering on this. I'm sorry. I'm just so passionate about this because if you boot up your PS4 or 5 or your Xbox, whatever, you can get Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil Remake 2, Resident Evil Remake 3, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Remake 4, Resident Evil Code Veronica X, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8. The only freaking ones are Resident Evil 2 and 3. What the hell? What the hell? It's a joke. It's a joke.
And I feel like those are the fan favorites too, still to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird that they even like put them out like with the remakes. The timing of that seemed like at least the right time was then. Yeah.
I don't understand. Tell us why. We demand answers. That's it. If they just tell us why, I will sleep easier at night.
The eye contact was crazy.
Speaking directly to them.
Clip it and ship it, send it over, please.
Well, hopefully Capcom for Huber's sake, for his sanity, you'll make it happen.
Yeah. I want it.
For everyone's sanity, then Capcom, you need to make this happen, please.
And to be fair, that is my truly like I said, I don't have many complaints with this franchise because they give us and they give and they give. And us Resident Evil fans, we always want more. We always want more.
We are greedy.
We are greedy. We are greedy and we are spoiled because they give us incredible
every 2 to 3 years. Always new game.
It is insane. So Capcom, if you want to hold those hostage, feel free. If that's the price that we need to pay to have continually excellent Resident Evil games, I'll pay it. It's fine.
Never know.
I brought the board game because I just missed Resident Evil 2. I'm not kidding. It's right there.
Sick board game. I love that game.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I need to get the expansion packs, but that's how bad I am with this. Please. I just want more RE2.
Yep.
Well, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Nothing left.
No worries. Maybe one day. I'm like in the boat where like I got my RE4 remake and it was fantastic and like it's everything I wanted it to be. So yeah, that's right. Screw both of you. I don't care if RE2 OG comes out. I got RE4 OG and RE4 remake on everything. I'm eating good.
Resident Evil 4 is on like 30 things.
Yes, let's go. I don't have to worry about Resident Evil 4 ever.
Have you done the randomizer in RE2?
No, I've only done RE4.
Original Resident Evil 2, but it's been a while. It's been a while.
No.
We have a new randomizer, and it's so much fun. I have to send it to you one day. You have to try it. Oh my god! I've been playing it nonstop. It's hilarious.
I'll do it.
Do it,
because I always tell chat because Resident Evil 2 again is my favorite game. I try to only play it once every year or two. So then every time I play it, I just like that original experience. It's just like so close to my heart.
I get it.
But I will totally. I'm down for a randomizer, and also the fixed cameras. Chat. Public service announcement. I'm watching my grandpa for the next month, so I don't have good access to my streaming setup. Like I'm at my house. He's at his house now. I'm watching him till the end of April, so I won't be able probably to do as many streams or Resident Evil fixed cameras. But when I'm done with that, when I'm back, 100% full playthrough. Have you done it, Tiffany?
I do it almost every single week now because it's a fresh experience constantly. Yeah. I love it. And then I'll do the normal story once in a while. Yeah. I just love Resident Evil 2. It's me and my dad's connection. That's how I got into gaming, because of him. Because he would try to speedrun RE2.
It's like me and my mom.
Oh my god, your mom? Oh,
yep. My mom hooks it up. My mom is like always asking me about Resident Evil. Like, how's Resident Evil going these days? Like, yeah, it's the best. It's the best.
My dad, oh my god, I'll just tell you really fast. My dad, back then, we used to buy like burn CDs, and get the games. My dad, till this day, thinks he could unlock Akuma, and he thought the reason he didn't unlock Akuma is because we got a bootleg copy. Sorry, Capcom. Listen, it wasn't my choice. But he still thinks to this day he could get him.
That's so amazing.
He was just like
Resident Evil 9, dude. Put him in and end it.
I'm so mad.
The mystery.
I'm so mad that they didn't put Akuma in RE2 remake as like
that was such a
Yep. Completely missed opportunity for sure.
They should have. The April Fools would have been perfect. But he still thinks it. Because he was so good at this game at that point. He would get bit like maybe 4 times. He was great at it. And we never used memory cards.
Yeah, that's so sick. That's like training with weighted clothing. No memory card.
He would leave the game on. Like he'll just leave it open while he did like other stuff. He just never turned it off. That was just how it was back then.
That's so cool.
It was like a Dark Souls. You just start from the beginning. No bonfire. It's over.
Oh,
he took out Akuma. No.
No, I was gonna say that's why they haven't put RE2 back out. They're just working out a deal to put Akuma back in. Yeah,
I would love. Oh. I could make my dad so happy, bro. He would be so happy.
What if they did that, dude? What if they actually did that?
I would love that. Capcom. Now, if you're listening, put Akuma in if you port the game just as a skin. Like, get double S's or something. Maybe
would be so cool.
Maybe be Tofu's run. Make it the hardest thing to do. Like, do Tofu, you get Akuma as a skin.
Bring him in.
Please. That's my final pick. He goes to Mr. X.
Dude, Raging Demon on Mr. X is the hype as shit, dude. Oh my god.
We gotta do the inputs.
You gotta do the inputs. For sure.
Oh man. You gotta
get like a special cutscene. Like the final boss fight, you should see him go to him and just on the floor. We're giving ideas. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to like take it that route, but
amazing.
Now I want it.
I want it too. Well,
that'll be gone. That was my final say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got nothing left too.
You got nothing? All right. Well, that was good stuff. Thank you very much for sharing all of that. Thanks for joining me, both of you, on your Saturday to take 2 hours out of your time to talk Resident Evil. Very good stuff. Thank you. You both had some really great things to say and shared some great, thoughts and opinions and some good speculation. So pleasure having you both. And I'm so glad you both got to get you both together for the first time and talk about Resident Evil.
Yeah. It was awesome.
It's a pleasure. I've been watching
Resident Evil with you forever.
I could talk honestly for so long. I was telling him earlier, I used to watch you guys back on like game trailers like a long time ago. It was a long time ago. So it's like, yeah, I've been around.
Awesome.
Before we sign off here, for our viewers and listeners, where can they follow you if they want to check out more of your stuff, Tiffany?
Oh, me first. I was pointing up. But anyway, hi, I'm Tiffany Lockheart. You can find me on Twitch at Tiffany Lockheart and on Twitter at Tiffany May Cry. I've been doing a lot of FF14, 16. I'm starting Rebirth. And I've been doing a lot of randomizers, which is what I was telling earlier. So I'm going to probably do some Resident Evil 2 randomizers, see how that goes. Probably die. Would be cool. I never save because I was raised to not save. I have a bad habit. Yeah. Constantly.
Love that.
I haven't touched an ink ribbon in God knows how long.
That is inspiring. That's amazing.
Ask anybody.
I'm always afraid I'm gonna like ruin the stream for chat, so I always save like one time before a boss usually.
No, I'll
do like one save.
I just take it. If I die, I just restart.
Okay. Next time I'll do that.
Oh, I mean, put like sub bets on the line and then you win.
Definitely. Because usually I'll save once, but I won't die. So it's like I saved for no reason, but I'm always nervous. I'm always like,
I'm too keen on the ranking. I want that perfect rank, so I never save.
I love it.
Oh, I like it that as a t-shirt idea. Okay. Raise the stakes.
Yes, there you go.
Awesome. Oh my God.
And obviously, Huber, we're with the Easy Allies, Huber and I, but you've been doing some stuff with MinMax as well. Do you have any more stuff going on with them, Huber, or is that all wrapped up?
I'm going to be on podcasts sporadically for the next couple months. Talking to him about some other side things. So just very loose part-time min-max stuff. Definitely for a couple months more at least. Yeah, check out the Hot Ones style show we did. They interviewed me as I ate spicy wings. It was very fun.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, it was intense. Some of those were intense. I love spice, but once we got to like the 8, 9, 10 sauces, it was intense. Yeah.
Oh god, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's a little much for me too. Yeah. Brave one, Huber. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. So again, thank you everyone. We try and be back every weekend. So just be on the lookout for the schedule on our Twitter account, twitter.com/easyallies, to see if we'll be doing an episode. But as always, thanks for watching everyone, and have a good week.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.